What's up, JuJuan Buford, managing partner of JSB Business Solutions Group, co-founder of Next Op Social, PPLSI entrepreneur. And what I want to talk about today is how to make your business investable. So I was having a conversation with a business owner, I feel like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and she asked me, what are the steps that are required to put my business in a situation where people will be more inclined to invest, or if I were looking to sell my business, what are some quick tips you could give me? And off the fly, which is what you're getting today, right off the top of my head, these are the things I share with her. So the first thing I share with her is simply this, and it's the kiss of death for most business owners, and it is the failure to attract and keep and empower leadership. And that's what I mean, literally attract, keep, and empower leadership. The bottom line is, it's a problem if the only time your business moves is when you move. It's a problem if the only time things are being taken care of is if you are involved in it, where you're the bottleneck for everything. Because if someone's looking to invest in your business, or if someone's looking to buy your business potentially, they're gonna wanna know whether or not there's systems in place, whether or not the business is actually an organism that has begun to operate independently of you, kind of like a child, right? Child is dependent initially, but at some point in time, you want to grow from a team of me to a team of we, put processes, leadership, expectations in place, values, goals, a process, the way of doing things. So if you're no longer there, the business continues to operate independently of you. And it's something that a lot of small business owners just don't account for when looking for investment dollars. Have you taken inventory of your business, and can you really tell someone that your business would operate 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, maybe even a couple months, absent you having your finger on the button 24/7 around the clock? So that's number one. Number two, do you know what your profit and loss statement is, right? Excuse me. So I remember at some point I'm gonna learn to edit stuff out like that, but not until then, you gotta deal with it. So why is this important? I remember being so disgusted. I was on a B2B call, community call, and one of the local organizations that provide free tax and accounting services to the business community, one of the representatives there said, well, it's not necessary for business owners to know what their P&L statement is. Like, that's too much information. It's not imperative, it's not important. Just bring the work to us. I said to myself, you gotta be kidding me. Look, this is what your P&L statement does at the end of the day. I'm gonna simplify this as much as possible, right? We know that you can have a business. Let's say hypothetically you own a restaurant, and let's say the restaurant is doing $100K per year in revenues, right? Not a lot, but let's just say hypothetically. I don't want to use simple numbers, keep it simple. And let's say though that the restaurant's expenses is $120K, right? Let's say it's doing $100K revenue, but expenses is $120K, and then it's $50K in debt, right? That's a restaurant that is generating revenues, but it's not profitable, right? And we know a lot of people like that. You can be earning $100K in income as a person, but if you're living off $120K and you have another $50 and $60K in credit card debt, okay, you may look good on the outside, but the bottom line is it's a deck of cards ready to be knocked over, right? Your P&L statement pretty much tells that story, right? Your balance sheet, your growth and income statement, these things tell the story about your business, right? And you want to know what your P&L statement is. You want to understand your P&L statement. You want to talk to a tax attorney. You want to talk to a business planning professional. You want to talk to an accountant. And let me add an addendum to this. An accountant understands business finance to have that conversation with you. Because you can fool some people, but investors who've been in the game for a little while, particularly if you start dealing with banks, micro lenders, they're going to look for these things, and you need to understand what your P&L statement is saying about you, right? Your P&L statement is also important because it lets you know how profitable you are, assuming you are profitable, gives you an idea what your margins are, right? So the difference between the cost of your goods and services, how much revenue is being generated, and then what's left over in terms of per unit, per service delivered, what that space is that you can invest back into your business, right? And if your margins aren't right, you're not able to invest in your business. You're not able to invest in your business. You're not able to feed your business. You're not able to feed the baby and have it grow into a grown adult. So that's why it's important that you understand what your P&L statement is, right? Okay, so here's the thing. Business credit and business financing is also a very important piece. Look, at some point in your business, you grow and you start taking on employees, whether they be 1099, W-2, whether it be virtual assistants, contractors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you realize you can't fund your business out of pocket anymore. You can't use personal dollars, okay? The expense becomes too great. You're not going to be able to scale utilizing your personal credit and your personal finances anymore. You got to get business credit. You have to acquire business financing. That's a very important piece of being investable. If someone's looking to buy your business, they're going to know what resources are available. We have a recession coming. We have a lot of people that lost their shirts during the pandemic. Same thing's going to happen during a recession. Do you have the necessary resources to basically weather the storm? Because sometimes success in business boils down to simply just being able to be around long enough, right, to survive longer than your competition. It's an important piece. Understanding the value of intellectual property is a big deal. You know, have you copywritten or trademarked your intellectual property? Do you understand that process and what it means? Your intellectual property is an asset. And your branding, when we talk about branding, we talk about marketing, these things are interconnected. And so do you have a brand that stands on its own? Do you have a brand whereas if someone acquires your company, your business, that your company and your business is branded in such a way where it exists independently of you? Or are you the face of it? And the only reason why people are doing business is because of you. Look, most entrepreneurs are not movie stars. Most entrepreneurs are not football players, basketball players, music artists, et cetera, where they can generate revenues just based on the fact that they're famous, right? Most entrepreneurs, that's not going to be you. So you have to build a business where you are not front facing all the time. Because once again, you're not very investable if it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about you. People can't buy you, right? So that's another thing too. If you're going to look to sell your business, understand that you, the investor, may want you to stick around for a moment to help with the transition, right? That's another important piece in terms of what it means to be investable or be attractive as well. So keep that into account. And then the last thing I shared is, look, your net worth is your network is your net worth, okay? Some of you don't understand this, and I didn't understand this in the beginning, right? Look, if you're getting ready to sell a collision shop and the person is sizing up your equipment and everything else I just mentioned, something else they're taking into account is your list of clients. Do you have a client list? Do you have an email list? Do you have somewhere documented the individuals who tend to conduct business with you on a consistent or even an infrequent basis, right? That database is invaluable, right? Because that determines to what extent they can market to an already built-in community of potential clients, and it gives them an ideal in terms of what your market share is and whether or not there are opportunities to grow the market share. Maybe you haven't been as assertive as you need to be to engage your clients on a regular basis. Well, an investor is going to pay attention to that. We're going to look at it, right? Do you have 1,000 clients, 2,000, 3,000? Are they advocates? In other words, are they individuals who are conducting business with you on a regular basis and referring people to you on a consistent basis? These things are important. So off the top of my head, those are the things that I shared with the business owner. Those are the things I felt like it's been igging me. I wanted to get it out and share it today. As always, look, if this content moves you, if it made a difference, like, share, subscribe. And look, I eat criticism like Skittles too. So if you have feedback, by all means, feel free to comment. I want to make sure that the content I'm sharing is actionable and motivates and inspires and puts you in a place where you can level up. Goodbye for now.